So I'm making a slow roasted Vidalia onion soup because I want to emphasize the natural sweetness that's inside the onions. And so it starts with our onions here, the ones that are actually still in the skin. So we'll take these and we'll make a little package of aluminum foil that we can wrap the onions up in. And the reason we're doing this is that it allows us to roast these onions and yet capture all of the natural juices that are present in there. And those juices become a lot of the broth, if you will, for making this soup. So we wrap them tight in foil. We pop them in the oven at 350 degrees for about an hour or an hour and a half, and when they come out, they're super, super tender to the touch. And what you have in there is that all of that juice and that natural flavor of the onion itself is captured in this little sort of foil package. So we'll pop the root end off the bottom, and then you can just squeeze them directly out of the jacket or out of the skin into the blender carafe. And what we want to do is make sure that we keep all of those juices that are from the foil package. We're going to put those back in the blender as well, and that's going to help us with blending this up. And so it doesn't need a lot from a flavor perspective outside of this because it has so much natural complexity, but we do add a little bit of mascarpone cheese, a splash of lemon juice, fresh lemon juice, a pinch of kosher salt, and probably one small clove of garlic to add just a little bit of heat and a little bit of spice to this soup. But we put it in the blender, we turn it on, and we let it blend until it's really nice and smooth. So as it's doing this, we may have to add a little bit of broth or stock to adjust the consistency. You know, chicken stock or vegetable stock, either one will work just fine. Sort of a matter of personal preference, but just remember that you only need enough to get that natural sort of smooth spoonability that you expect of a nice creamy soup. And so when it's done from the blender, it's ready to be served. You can keep it warm on the stove in a pot like I have right here until you're ready to serve it. Just be careful not to continue to overcook it. So when it's done, it's nice and white, nice and creamy. We'll ladle it over here into our bowl. And the garnish is very, very simple. We'll take a little bit of chive and then we'll hit it with just a crack of black pepper over the top. And what you end up with here is something that has all of those kind of nuances that you want. You get the sweetness of the onion, you get the freshness of the chive, and a little bit of heat from that black pepper. And for me, this is your quintessential taste of the beginning of spring. If you want to learn more about them, you can go to vidaliaonion.org or you can follow us on social media using the hashtag #OnlyVidalia. You'll get to see photos of the fields, of the crops, of the growers. You know, it's still an artisan product here. We're talking about hand planting and hand harvesting, and it's something that we really cherish as part of our tradition here and something that we're happy to share with the rest of the country.